right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Symphogear, Season 1, Episode 4. New character.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
They are wearing a full suit, though.
Yep, indeed. They seem ready for battle.
Yeah. They have their Symphogear on.
That's right.
Yeah.
But we got a bit of, sort of more of the everyday dynamic with Hibiki and Tsubasa. They are still very much not getting along, but,
Yeah, fighting.
Yeah, yeah, they're
every day.
Right, exactly. But hey, it's all part of the process. Traumatic things happened in the past. Mm-hmm. But now it looks like we've got a hammer to mess up this already chaotic dynamic.
Well, yeah, that's the weird thing, is that there's no name, there's no nothing like really associated with this character yet, so They could literally be anyone or even associated with anyone.
Yeah.
But the thing is that by them coming up with the Symphogear and them having already set up the idea that there are other nations that have fragments and stuff, it's a possibility they're not even from Japan.
Yep. But it could also be something as innocuous as, oh yeah, we're from, Drywing or something like that.
Yeah, you just haven't seen them yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. So, new character. Without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone, now be sure to go check out the reaction portion of the video in the description below, then come back here for the discussion. All right, we got ourselves new fighter. Do not know who they are.
No.
All we know is that they are not only bearing the Nehushtan armor, which was from the relic of the event that started the whole show. But also it's a completed relic.
Right.
And somehow it ended up in the hands of this individual.
Yep.
Who they either do not know or choose to intentionally only refer to via the armor because of whatever reason.
Yeah, I think it's something where they just, it's a strange fighter appears. We don't recognize the person, but we recognize the gear they're using.
Well, yeah, of course they recognize the gear, but the reason why they don't have any info as to who would have it, why they have it, what they're doing here, other than, the Nehushtan armor is here, and yet this was something that kickstarted the entire story, and was something that they had in their lab setup. They had it in there, and they don't know how it was taken.
Yeah, like I don't think we heard anything of it being like misplaced before now or something.
Nope.
Granted, after an explosion like that and then the noise attacking and everything, it would make sense that someone could get away with it, right?
Yeah, but here's the thing that's weird is that they summoned the noise.
Yeah, that's
from items that they had on their armor.
Yeah, so Symphogear summoning noise. The line between the two just keeps getting blurred. Fuzzier and fuzzier. But then also, there was kind of a general vibe of like, wait, in the first episode, did the relic exploding summon the noise? Because, yes, it could have drawn the noise. That totally could have happened. But it also could have been some,
it's tough to say.
It seems like it might have been something where it actually, just made them appear, directly. But... Yeah. Okay, we are going to need some answers in the next episode for, who that person potentially is, how they got the relic or whatever. Assuming that this isn't something of because the relic is a full relic, that the person is able to use it remotely, because they said that it's not just the person with the thing that's able to use it if it's 100% relic or whatever. But okay,
right.
Tsubasa's not dead.
Yeah,
that's good.
That was one of those things of where they set up Kanade specifically to die, and they've set up Tsubasa specifically to not die. So it's kind of a thing of where I maybe bought it for a little bit, but then once the scene was kind of drawn on a bit, I had no real worry that she was gonna die. No.
I thought for sure that she was going to die, right up until the part where afterwards her body didn't disintegrate,
right?
Because that seemed like one of the big hard fast rules of the show at the beginning, especially with the fact that they built up the idea that eventually Hibiki would sing it and die as well, right? but now it's like,
Yeah.
okay, I guess that doesn't necessarily have
All
to
it does
happen.
is necessarily just tear them up inside because the limiters come off of the Symphogear.
Right.
But this is very clearly a show where the point is, at some point, is that someone is going to use the Symphogear with the limiters off, and they're just going to be fully in synthesis, like complete union with
100%
the Symphogear.
synchronization,
Exactly.
harmonizing,
Yep.
you know, yeah.
That's absolutely where you take a show like this for that ultimate, scaling kind of badass moment. So therefore, we need to have at least some moment eventually where it's used in a way that doesn't fully kill them, but takes them out of commission.
Well, and that is something that changes my perspective on this show, because the vibe that I got was like, oh man, I think, if that's something, if the person that seems to be the main character at the beginning, well, technically not the very beginning, but in the first episode, is like going to, in my mind, die because of the whole superb song
they
thing.
can.
It still totally can, right?
Yeah.
Because it did seem very much to be like because Tsubasa's just this awesome, like she's able to do this. But even in the case of Kanade, like, she was pretty badass in her backstory too. Like,
her thing specifically, and I found to be like specifically the biggest deal of this, is that the songs are different. The songs are shorter, longer, and what have you in this case here. And
Okay.
I think that Tsubasa's was just a really short song. She could have kept singing, and it would have continued to kill her. But the idea was that she turned off
Sure.
the limiters.
yeah.
She basically broke the rule of being like, I'm going to use this in a dire emergency, which it kind of was.
Yeah.
Because the idea was that Hibiki was going to get kidnapped, not
Right.
killed. Which,
Yeah.
again, also I have theories about.
Which is probably like the whole harvesting Gugnir thing or something like that.
Yeah, totally. But just the idea that, okay, she knows at the very least what her body's capable of, turns it on, tears up her insides.
Yep.
The power is enough to basically send who's her face flying.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
But that's also a really ballsy move in that you don't know whether or not that will permanently end the threat. Like,
Right.
she could just fly back 5 minutes later, and Hibiki is not going to be able to defend herself. And not only that, there's no one else actually that can defend her.
And even if it's not like 5 minutes later, even if it's like, like
An hour.
or a week or something like that, if it's before Tsubasa can fully recover, right? Even if Tsubasa is fully recovered, she had to use that in order to drive her off, right?
She was losing.
Yeah, she was losing. So that's a problem in and of itself.
Yep.
But, and this is something that I like about this, even though Tsubasa didn't actually die, which I actually bought into like the idea that she was going to die. I thought it was going to be like that like early character death where it's like, okay,
That was Kanade, though.
No, right, but but that's like first episode, so I see that as being something like potentially different. And then this would be like, all right, that thing we were saying, Hibiki, of how you might not want to be like gung ho about doing this. Well, she died too, like. But we still have the effect of now Hibiki needing to figure this out because there's no one else. Until Tsubasa gets better, she's it.
She's it.
So
and let that time be a good amount of time. If you want to time skip through it because she's now doing the training, that's totally okay.
Cool.
But then we need to get into a little bit of an explanation as to why the armor was here, why the Nehushtan armor was here, why the defense people and stuff were actually surprised by that.
Yeah,
because that doesn't feel like a thing that they should be surprised by if they knew that it was taken.
Well, I mean, I think they could be surprised by the fact that it was showing up now, because like maybe it disappears and like, oh, they weren't able to find it over the course of 2 years, and they're like, okay, well, whatever, I guess it's gone or someone else has it. But then suddenly it shows up and it's like, oh shit, all right, this was this was a blue milk run, right? Like this should have been fairly straightforward, and then all of a sudden there's someone that has a suit of Symphogear, and they're actively using it against other Symphogear users.
But that's something that they've already talked about as being a potential problem, is that the
with like
US,
other countries
for
and
instance,
stuff,
has access to Symphogear at the very least, and they could be trying to hack in and take, Gungnir, for instance.
Yep.
And then this is just an example of where, no, we'll send someone with a full relic that we might have instigated in order to, get the Nehushtan one way back when 2 years ago.
Right. There's some muckery that could be about.
Oh, there's definitely some muckery. I very much think that the idea of having a new character get brought in that's the mysterious, like, ooh, who are they? But they have the armor, but they're trying to kidnap the main character rather than hurt them is also a classic setup for the switcheroo of you're actually on the wrong side, main character, and I'm trying to rescue you from this whole thing.
Sure, potentially,
there's the other side of this, which I'm classic thing in actually a lot of games stories and stuff like that, and this show definitely reminds me of a video game story in a lot of ways, is that I'm actually like the tie to the main plot, like that character who came in and she literally said, you think you're the main character?
Right.
I'm actually here to pick up Hibiki, which I love as a hilarious bit of saying, oh, I'm not the main character either. Hibiki's the main character. It's not you, Tsubasa, and it's not me.
Yeah,
I'm picking up Hibiki.
The MacGuffin is not being put to use, and your emotional baggage and everything because of Kanade and whatnot is great and all, but you know, but we've got a more serious threat. You know,
we've got bigger fish to fry.
Right.
And I would love to see then what her character represents is some kind of a not just a threat necessarily, but a location change for Hibiki, where it can be like, I'm going to show you some secrets about the world. I'm going to show you some things that will broaden your perspective. Have you ever wondered why it was so weird that you needed to get locked up every time you went down underneath that spot in, underneath
the school? Yeah.
School, yeah. Did you ever wonder, like, why there were no other girls actually, a part of this thing or what have you?
Let's take you on an international tour.
Exactly.
And then
let you
Miku
realize the global conflict as a whole.
Sure.
But yeah, I have all kinds of theories with that regard. But point being, we got Miku being the MVP this episode.
Yeah.
I loved the stuff of Hibiki kind of having that main character realization of, I now know what she was feeling. And it's like,
oh shit, I can't replace Kanade. Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Like,
and it's a bit repetitive because we, the audience, know. We know all this. But it's
the
good that the
character
character
needs to know.
Yeah. And yet, the idea of her replacing Kanade is exactly what she's doing. But that has nothing to do with who you are. The difference between you functionally replacing her as a member of Zweiwing is kind of irrelevant because, no, Zweiwing, and this is kind of a cool thing for me to have a little bit of a reminder of, Zweiwing was the partnership between
the two of them.
Kanade and Tsubasa. It was not the defense program or what have you that's protecting the relics.
Yeah.
So, of course, you're not going to be a member of Zweiwing.
Nope. Zweiwing's gone.
That's done. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. One wing can still fly.
And that was really cool.
That was a really cool line. Yeah. But no. You are there just as a protective force against the noise.
So start talking with Miku about some musical unit, names that you can come up with.
Yes, exactly.
For your eventual debut.
Aha. Yeah. Aha. Either solo or with Tsubasa.
That's right.
Either way.
Or maybe with Miku if you somehow manage to get her involved in this whole thing.
I really do think that Miku is the long game character in this story.
Because the thing is that while Hibiki could be the main character, Miku was the first character shown, and Hibiki was dead at that point. So theoretically,
I still don't think that she was actually dead at that.
It was just like a faked death,
and that's going to be the twist in the end of the season or in season 2 or something like that. I really think that this is the kind of show where we're gonna go deep, all the way with Hibiki, all the way.
Characters don't die. The cast just gets larger and larger until we have 36 different musicians and stuff with Symphogear and everything. Yep. Either going in crazy battles against each other or some new threat, looms up and then they have to Avengers assemble.
With the reputation surrounding this show for just how over the top and ridiculous it is, I want to see full-on, time travel parallel realities with, 10 Hibikis that all, sing a chorus with each other and then, crystallize a full-on, superpower wave that, eliminates, all noise for all time. And then Hibiki realizes, wait, am I the villain?
I am Madoka.
Yeah, exactly. And then, wait, have I become God? And then, everything resets and, creation breaks asunder. And it's just Gurren Lagann, Kill la Kill, and all these other things, just full on ridiculous. I would love that. All that being said, though, I think Miku is unironically the most heartfelt character that is kind of kind of just seems to be like the one that's just made to suffer in this
Yeah,
story.
yeah,
Like, whoops, sorry, I bumped the thing there. But Tsubasa obviously suffers in a very specific way, and we got a really cool backstory with Kanade.
Yep, that was awesome.
But just the idea that we know the inevitability of, regardless of whether or not Hibiki actually dies, Miku is going to lose Hibiki, the girl that she loves.
At the end of the episode there, when like the credits were rolling and everything, and we saw the training montage and whatnot, and she was like, Hibiki, wait. I was like, oh my god, is she going to be like,
confess?
Yeah, like I don't want to keep secrets from you. And I don't want you. And then she's like, and then Hibiki's like, I don't want to keep secrets from you either. I'm like, oh, okay. I thought for sure it was gonna be
They will continue to keep secrets from each other.
Right. Yeah. The secret is I'm Symphogear surviving, or all that stuff, fighting noise.
You may be Symphogear, but I am Sympho-gay. Like let me like
Miku's secret. I love you.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
The teacher, the class, Genjiro,
Yeah.
everyone else. We know.
Yeah. I love how
Hibiki's like, wow, the wind really is picking up today.
the wind sounds like my friends today. Yeah. But like the fact that
Lesbians in the wind. Huh?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
The fact that Hibiki went to Genjiro and was like, you seem like you know martial arts. It's like, yes, was that when he punched Tsubasa's full-on Symphogear blade, and all that happened was it destroyed his shoes and caused a massive crater? Like really, I think
Hibiki.
like yes, there is a decent possibility that he knows some martial arts.
Or at the very least, he's not human.
Yeah. Maybe like I know that, that's not what this is about and everything, right? This is about cute girls doing badass things while singing and stuff. But at the same time, it's like, get Genjiro on, like, tour or something, get him some Symphogear or something.
Jacob, only teenage girls can pilot the mechas. I don't make the rules
Does
here, man.
this show legitimately think that we would not love a 10-second ass shot of Genjiro like we got of Tsubasa this episode?
Oh,
like
I'd be down. Now I gotta
he does squats.
I did think it was kind of I did think it was kind of interesting how the show made it very clear of like, don't worry, she's 19 in this shot. Did you notice the timeline thing of then Kanade, who
same
was
age,
14,
and then 5 years later,
before, who's the same age, which means it's okay, guys. We're actually like way more respectable than most anime. She's 19.
But Hibiki is still glued and suspended. It's glue or something like that,
It's plasma, some kind
Yeah.
of, sticky, whatever.
Yeah.
The point is that Kanade is constantly being like drip fed like new little like details of her character into the story.
Yes, okay. I was gonna say Kanade's dead, Caleb.
I know, but just the idea that we saw her monstrous resolve in the beginning of the episode,
completely different from the cool, composed. It's all right, Tsubasa. Let's do a good performance. To.
Do you get the vibe specifically that the reason why they were not immediately why she was restrained was not because she's feral and frenzied at the moment.
To be fair, if her parents died horribly in front of her or something like that, like it seemed to have been implied, then that's
yeah. I think you would do that then primarily because they would be a threat to themselves.
Sure.
Themselves, but I almost got the vibe that it was more of the thing of like, no, you were the member of an excavation crew. No, not member. You went to an excavation site on the weekend with your family. We didn't find out why the parents died at an excavation site.
I'm guessing
for probably a relic that's probably also, specifically Gungnir, maybe?
Yeah, she fell into the sand pit, and the people thought it was a bird, so they just spun the things, and, and then all of a sudden, vengeance, yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe that was something that they did specifically because the noise attacked, and they were like, shit.
Well, yeah, I think it's assumed that the noise definitely attacked. That's why she's so
that's
vengeful towards the noise.
Exactly, yeah. But then maybe that was something where it's like, oh no, experiment on somebody with it, see if it'll work. But yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like I'm laying up a little. I'm figuring out a little bit what you're putting down here.
Yeah,
at
there's
Symphogear.
some
Couple
Tsubasa
seeds.
world building that's being laid down, and
you're not following up on it.
yeah. Well, no, but they
Yet.
kind of are. They kind of are, but there's just
Kinda.
I feel like there's like 8 different
No,
threads.
I feel like they're going wide.
No, right.
They haven't continued any of the threads. They're just going wide right now.
I don't know, because the whole thing of the summoning of the noise, that feels very similar to the whole thing of like, wait, what is the difference between the noise and the, and the Symphogear and all that stuff?
Well, there's people in the Symphogear. That's the point. That's why.
Well, right.
Yeah. That's why I thought it was weird that they didn't refer to the person inside the armor. They just referred to the armor. Is that I'm like...
If that ends up being something, I will take my hat off to you. Because they totally could have plausible deniability of like we're going to start doing this thing. We're going to set up this thing that, oh no, it's just that they don't know the name. But then it's like, oh wait. But is there something more there?
Or just the idea that, what if it's irrelevant who is in there? It's just that when a full relic gets, completed...
Does it have like
it
a will of its own almost?
It is an entity. It is a being
right.
that like possesses the person.
Because we don't know how, like we have not heard anything of how the relic got misplaced or taken or whatever. And although one thing that I think is potentially important is that Hibiki's manifestation of Gungnir looks very different from Kanade's.
Does it? Its color scheme is the exact same.
Okay, the color scheme is the exact same, but she's got like thorn whips and stuff as opposed to like spear tornado.
Well,
or tornado spear.
That's not... Okay, hold on, Jacob. Nehushtan and Gungnir are different relics.
No. In the at like the end of the first episode or in the second episode or whatever, Hibiki had like thorny stuff that was going around. I thought so. Or maybe it was like inside of her, which was another thing that we had with Nehushtan. It like looked like it was either growing or like spreading or digging into the lady's skin or something like that.
Oh, that just seemed like a type of attack. That didn't seem to have anything like specifically to do with the way that the relic fused with the internal like bloodstream or bone structure. Because
I got the
Hibiki.
vibe. No. Or wait.
I feel like I'm confused as to what you're talking about.
Okay, I have been kind of bouncing around on a few things, but when the Nehushtan user showed up and then they got blasted away by the Superb Song, and their Symphogear was like broken and cracked in a bunch of stuff, right?
Yep.
And then at some of the places where it was broken, it started to like...
It looks like it was freezing.
Oh.
Or cracking or something.
Well, the
skin of the individual looked like it was either freezing or cracking.
Yeah, something...
One of those two.
Something along those lines. And,
yeah.
And it looked like it potentially could have been something of the Symphogear trying to fuse and parasitically feed off of the user as a way to like sustain itself or something. I don't know. Maybe that's a bit of a shot in the dark or long shot, but yeah.
Yeah, it felt more like just them taking damage in a very just specific
as a result
way.
of the Superb
Song?
Song?
As a result of the attack, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I feel like that's the reason why I feel like it's a leap is that it's the idea of it's based on a specific thing that we saw, but then the response is a very general, vague thing. Whereas the idea of jumping to the idea that the Symphogear has some kind of, like will of its own, has at the very least some like non-specific, kind of ways in which it connects back to the idea that they're like dealing with fragments and
if you ever get the whole of something, it's a very different thing.
It's a different thing, yeah. So what would be different about an inanimate object that shoots power out of it, other than maybe it does more power, or it's maybe no longer an inanimate object, or maybe it's, something beyond that, a higher state of...
Sure, there's all kinds of trippy, crazy things that they can get into in this show, and given that there's 5 seasons, it can go far,
quite far
in the weird territory.
Yeah. But yeah, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
We stream every weekday. The info's in the description.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
next time.